All right, hello. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, yep, perfect. All right, let me know when you're ready.
So let's start you sharing the PowerPoint and do that. And
Yeah. Yep. Can you see it?
yeah, perfect.
All righty. Oh. Alrighty. I'll start now. 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. Hello. My name is Jose. And with Marcel here, we'll be talking about the smart pool with sensors for temperature regulation. So essentially, the project conception, we decided that, essentially efficient water temperature regulation in households was like a persistent challenge, as well, and then especially energy consumption as it relates. And we've been seeing that, water usage has been rising globally, especially in like in particular, we were seeing like in the Suez, not the Suez, the Panama Canal, that like the water levels are so low that they have to like slow down shipping because the water's not refilling due to the abnormal like weather patterns. Um, most homes also rely on uh, traditional forms of heating uh, systems like a tank or like either gas or electric. And then that's used for everything from like pools, bathrooms, kitchens, everything. So this is typically pretty inefficient and ends up costing the person more money. Takes more time for things to heat up, and then there's the environmental aspect, which is tied then back to like power consumption, because if all these homes use inefficient methods, then the strain on the grid is higher. So then you have to burn more and produce more energy to compensate. So all around, it's pretty bad. So with this project, increasing the emphasis on sustainability and energy conservation was a key goal, and finding a smarter way to optimize the temperature control and leveraging IoT was kind of what kind of led to the whole um, uh, project idea, right? And also having it automated so that you don't have to do much. It's kind of just works in the background and then learns from your usage patterns and can adapt easier. So the objectives, the interviews, throughout this project, we gave Mentor a fair number of questions and provided pretty valuable insights into the directions we should take in the project. Without our mentor, honestly, we'd still likely be struggling on parts of the project. I'm sure Marcel can attest to some of that. But he helped put things into perspective and help tackle some of the issues that arose while doing the project. We'll touch on a couple of those later. On the right, we'll see some of the questions and answers we had, like us talking to him and back and forth. That we had back throughout the project. So this is kind of like chunks of the conversations we had, kind of the more important ones that we had back and forth with him. So I guess I'll read off the first couple. So for us, Team 2, thank you for meeting with us to discuss my project, or not our project, on integrating smart sensors into a home water system. We're excited about the potential of creating a system that can automatically and responsively control water temperature, including pool heating and cooling. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So we're kind of asking him like what he thought about the concepts. And then he's like, absolutely, it's an interesting project. Let's start with the basics. When Sparty pursued this idea, and I replied, the main inspiration came from observing inefficiencies in traditional water systems, as I pointed out. And then having to manually control water temperatures for pools and households can most of the time, almost all the time, lead to inefficiencies with the heating systems or cooling systems. So we decided, what if we were to with the internet, like what if we were to integrate IoT smart sensors and use that to then input informate like that data into an algorithm that could automatically adapt and change the like when it would turn on and off the heater. So overall, we believe that we could reduce the energy usage while maintaining comfort and reduce the environmental impact. Plus, a system that's responsive and doesn't need to you don't need to intervene so much into. You kind of replied, you replied rather, that it was sort of motivation and that, we kind of went to the components that we'd be using and so on and so forth. But overall, he helped us to really narrow down the directions to kind of take and helped us with some of the issues we were having. So as for some of those issues, as I've pointed out in the past, this is both hardware and software. Initially, we had issues with the sensors working. We discovered that some of the sensors we used were faulty, and we had to replace them. After the hardware setup, the next challenge was the algorithm. We initially ran into some simple errors with the syntax and like variables and functions, like misnaming them or using a capital here and there. So figuring out those little kinks was frustrating at times. The mentor did help with that though too, as he knows a fair amount about software, so he kind of helped point out the errors there. We also, had some trouble with the program, so he also helped in that regard also. And then fix them. We then fixed some issues with the temperature readings as we hadn't really calibrated the sensor completely, so we kind of fixed that, and then eventually we were able to work on most of the kinks in the system. As for the global and societal impacts, there's generally some global and societal impacts that we considered that would primarily be ethical. Mainly was the privacy concerns that we saw from the data being collected. And as we'll see in the little demo, we'll see kind of that data being collected. With the water usage patterns, since we collect that data to then use that for the algorithm to see how the temperature changes over time, to kind of adapt it to better use the heater. Some of that data might be sensitive, or it might point out something that other users wouldn't want that to be shared. So having these systems be able to store the data locally could be a solution to that issue. Another more global side to the impacts would be the cost of the system. Seeing as we're based in the U.S., things are relatively more inexpensive than other places. So having the system be as cheap as possible, whilst maintaining the important functionality, would be crucial in this. We could do this by getting rid of the app functionality, so it's more of a passive system than it already is. So with the app, you'd be able to monitor things, tweak things here and there if you don't like what the system's doing completely. But maybe having a more passive system without those features could help reduce the costs. Maybe finding distributors or partners to work with in other countries could help also reduce the costs. That way we can kind of send it there and then have it shipped out of there instead of having to ship from here to over there. That's kind of another more logistical solution. Overall, having all these factors come together would overall could help bring down the cost. But if we were to consider a global launch of the system, then there'd be a lot more factors we'd have to consider. But for the scale that we're at the project, we kind of let those be. And if we were to scale this up, it would be something we'd definitely look into the future. These were the results of the projects that we found when we compared it to other methods, and we can see that with our system, it was overall better than the competitors and more efficient at that while maintaining like proper accuracy. And that's it. Thank you. I'll leave it to Marcel now to demo the project.
Okay, so I have to share my screen, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Share screen right here. Host disable attendee share screen sharing. You have me disabled.
Let me see. Let me check real quick. Let me see. That's my bad. Try now. Let me see. It should work.
Okay. So you see my screen?
Alrighty. I can see the screen.
Yeah, I think so. You're seeing my screen, right? Are you seeing my screen?
Alrighty.
Huh? Hey, Angel.
Should be able to.
So are you seeing my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen. Yeah.
I don't know, when I share my audio, it says that, I don't know. This said your microphone is disabled
Retry
when
that.
sharing
Let
your
me
computer audio.
see. Try now, maybe. Maybe that'll work now. Might have been a setting on my end. I have to change.
Let me see if you see my screen with the Arduino. Are you seeing now?
We can see the screen.
Do you see my Arduino?
Your mic is muted though. Try unmuting.
Do you hear me, right? Angel.
I'll pause the recording for now. Try and see if it's I don't know if it's setting Windows maybe.
I think I don't work too much. So record myself now.
Hello.
Do you hear me now? Do you hear me?
I think I hear you. Maybe I'm hearing myself.
It says I am.
Wait. Try sharing now. Maybe.
It says I am sharing my screen.
I see like the Zoom screen. Try changing the window maybe. That's the video.
So are you seeing what I'm doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know, baby. Thing is, I don't know how to share my other windows, you know,
It should
on
be at
my
the bottom, like the big share button. Should be able to change it.
breakout rooms. This one,
No.
whiteboards.
Should be at like the green button, the share button, but I should be able to click on it and change windows.
Where
Like I don't know if you see the share right there. The one you mouse right there. Yeah.
one participant can share at a time, multiple can share simultaneously.
Try clicking new share. Let's see.
Choose what to share with. So entire screen. Entire screen. My God.
I love technology. Let's see
Yours.
your browser.
Okay. Are you seeing my Arduino now?
So weird.
Are you seeing my Arduino?
Hello? Huh? I guess not. Why mute your mic? That's so weird. Hell.
Bro, when I go to Arduino, it stops sharing the screen and it stops sharing the audio, you know?
I don't know why that's happening.
So the only idea I have is to stop this recording right here now and
Try
then
stopping the
start.
share and sharing again, and then
No, maybe I
checking the Windows audio settings like on the bottom right.
create a meeting, a Zoom meeting by myself, and do my part. Okay. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me, Angel?